Hi guys, and welcome back to my black screen series. This is episode 3, or 3 of 52, and it's very late. I'll apologise now for that. Just been going through some stuff, so it's been a bit tough getting this actually recorded. So I've had my second therapy session. It was quite heavy. I'm not going to go into it. I thought that, so this is why I've delayed recording this, because I was trying to work out how I'm going to turn it into words for you guys. And realistically, it's my private therapy session. And I should keep it private, because I'm working through my own stuff, and it's my own stuff. It's not your stuff, right? Everyone's got their own stuff. I'm not, I'm not adverse to talking about my own stuff with you guys. It's just, patient therapy, confidentiality, kind of. You touch on things, and you kind of think, well, wouldn't this be great in the podcast? But it's pretty heavy too, like some of the stuff that we went through is pretty heavy. I'll just say that. And I had some, I still do, like the one therapy session didn't fix that, but I had some serious blame issues on myself for different things in my life. And the therapist helped me understand that there were different things that weren't quite of my control. They were out of they were. I was influenced by my life, basically. So there was no. Hang on a sec. Right, sorry about that. I was just getting bombarded by two of my dogs. One wanted to come inside and lay down, because I was just laying back in my van while I'm recording this. Usually I record this at night, so I don't know if you guys can hear cicadas and stuff, but usually at night. And the last two, it's actually been raining, so you've been hearing raindrops hitting the roof while I've been talking. So this is something a little bit different. It's a little pleasant. It's a warm day. I'm not sure of the temperature. I do have a thermometer here, but it's going to be warmer than what it actually is outside because of where it's positioned. Hang on a sec. Where's my thermometer? Found it. Okay, what's that say? It says it's 27. It's probably something like 27 outside. Yes, it's probably not far from the truth. Anyway, so as I was saying, the conversation with the therapist was my conversation, and I guess in as much as it's her conversation as well. But like I was saying, we did touch on some serious stuff, and I found that I shouldn't be as hard on myself with some things as I am. So that was her take on things. That my life conditioned me. What do you want? Now I'm getting complained to by the one that's in here. She can walk past me. You don't have to stay in here. Anyway, Missy's come in to lay down with me. I think she thought she was going to be getting attention, and that's why she's coming in. I thought she was coming in because she wanted to lay down in here. But anyway, so yeah, the dogs are an issue. It's another reason that it makes it hard to do this sometimes. I love them and they're great, but when I'm trying to talk on, my phone, she's off again. Okay, she decided no attention. I'm off. So when I'm trying to talk on the phone, they're a bit of a pain sometimes. because of my autism, they mess me up. They mess up my train of thought. I'm all over the place, and I have no script for this stuff, guys. It's just it's as it comes out. That's what you get. There's no rehearsal. There's no second take. So yeah, like before, I paused because I had to get the dogs to get out, and that was only about 30 seconds or a minute, and then I continued. And now I digress. So yeah, so I did find that the therapy was good. I she's a bit younger than I'd like. I think she was in her late 20s. But very professional, very professional. I'm quite happy so far. I'm interested to see as things progress, with this tiny bit of information she's been feeding back to me so far, because she doesn't really understand the situation fully of my life, She's just doing little things, saying little things as we go. But yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see, I'm excited to see what her take would be at the end of all of when I unpack my life into, as best as I can out on the table for her, and she analyses things as best she can. At the end of the day, once she understands things and maybe asks questions so I can delve off in another area that she's not quite understanding, or explore further into something that she wants to know more about. And eventually, she'll get to the stage where she's able to analyse my life and give me a rundown on how I'm going, how I can fix things, how I can be happier within myself, how I can handle my past better, how I can look forward to the future better. Maybe even things to help me with my anxiety, my depression, the suicidal thoughts. Yes, they happen, but they're very rare, and it's not like I'm going to act on them. So, because I've got too much, I can say I've got too much to live for, and that's a good thing, right? But sometimes when I'm going through those, I feel like I don't have much to live for. But I have developed skills so that when I am like that, I can't actually do anything to hurt myself, because as bad as I feel at any given point, it'd be different if I had a gun here, right? And it was loaded all the time, and whenever I got sad, I could randomly pick it up one day and go bang. That's different, right? But I don't have something like that I could do. I don't have pills that I can just swallow and overdose with any confidence that they'd work and not cause damage and have me end up in hospital for months. With needing to take more pills to balance my liver function for the rest of my life, or kidneys or something, because I did irreparable damage by overdosing. So overdoses aren't always fatal, and that's, I'm aware of that. So if I ever tried to kill myself, guys, I'm pretty sure I'd get it right the first time. So that's one reason why. So a lot of people don't, and that's one reason why. One reason why I feel that I understand suicide quite well in many ways. I haven't done it. I haven't attempted it. I've come close. There's been times when I felt like I attempted it because my thoughts were so close, and then afterwards my heart was racing, thinking, holy crap, I almost did that. And it was all sorts of random things. I won't go into them now because I don't want to also give anyone ideas on how to kill yourself. I've done my own research on that sort of thing. I didn't actually Google how do you kill yourself, but I have done a lot of research on different ways that people have met their demise at their own hands. And sometimes one of the shitty ways, I believe, is death by cop. That's fucked up. If you go out there, you know, like holding a knife to someone's throat, and sometimes it's their own kids and family members, like their missus, a neighbour that they have been close to for years, you know, a friend, or it's just some random person. They grab them in a chokehold and have a knife to their throat, and you know, and the cops show up. They do this to get the cops to show up. The cops show up, pull weapons on them, tell them drop the knife. They let go of the person, charge at the cop with the knife, saying, I'm going to stab you, I'm going to kill you, and get shot. And usually, the ones that you usually see are in America. The cops don't muck around, and quite often death by cops successful to the ones that actually get shot, because there's no, like, you know, or to shoot them in the legs. You know, they don't have this protocol where if someone runs at you with a knife because they're trying to get you to shoot them, and some of them are even saying, kill me, you know. And yeah, so yeah, that's a pretty shitty way to go, because you're involving someone else's life, and also their family's life, and there's so many, and then there's so many others involved, not just the guy that shot you, or the guys. It might have been more than one cop that had to pull weapons on you. So it's a really crappy way to go. I think that's pretty low. Jumping in front of a train, that was one of my fantasies when I was young, till I learned about how many people actually do it and how traumatised train drivers are. You know, especially back in the day when suicide in that fashion was more common than it is now. So anyway, yeah, I don't want to be harping on about suicide this whole video. I don't know how YouTube handles it either. I notice some people actually don't even say that word. They bleep the word out. Might be something to do with being monetized. I haven't marked my stuff safe for kids. I don't mark an age thing on it. I feel that, you know, I don't come in with any shock value. I don't come in to entertain kids with these talks either. So I don't feel that kids would be listening to them. I don't feel there's anything attractive for a kid to be listening to here. But yeah, I understand my dog videos would attract kids sometimes, so I'm always careful of swearing whenever I put in and things like that, and what's said whenever there's a dog video. You know, if I'm showing the dogs playing in the creek and swimming around, or we're going for walks, or whatever it is, if they're just playing in the van, playing in the yard, playing fetch, whatever it is, I try and make sure, I'm pretty good with it, I think. Yeah, try and keep it kid friendly, but even then I don't mark it for kids only. Yeah, I've Facebook messes with stuff when, not Facebook, YouTube messes with stuff when you do that. So it directs kids to you, and I don't want kids directed to my channel. It's not a kids channel. There's kid stuff on here for the dogs. Yeah, I understand that. The dogs are great. Kids love dogs, and you know, one of you subscribers might have kids, and you might listen to me and listen to my stuff, and then notice, oh, he's got a dog video up. Oh, kids, come look at this. And you should be fairly confident that when you do that, you're not going to hear me, you know, swearing like I sometimes do in these videos, or mentioning, you know, now I'm paranoid to say that. I'll call it the S word, right? Yeah. So yeah, ending one's life. Yeah, I'll put more words into one word when I've got a bad word. Okay, I'll try and do that. But yeah, sometimes when I'm talking in this series, it's about emotional things or about something I'm passionate about, and if I swear, I will fucking swear. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. It's not meant for kids, and I don't want to mark it not for kids, because you get an option. You can go for kids, you don't mark anything. You can go age specific, or you can go, yeah, you should go for kids, not for kids, or age specific, or you just don't check it, and that's what I do. I don't check it, so there's no age requirement, and I just feel, you know, I mean, it's not a porn channel. YouTube doesn't, you know, there's no nudity. There's nothing really that graphic. I occasionally might get a bit passionate and swear. I don't try and polish my language up for people. I used to, but yeah, that's part of being me and being real. I try not to polish my language, but on the same token, I do still polish, and people should. I reckon if there's kids around, you should watch your language. But you know, because we're teaching them, right? So anyway, it just makes sense to. I just wanted to talk about that side of things in some stage early on in this series, and third episode in, I hadn't actually brought it up. So yeah, definitely what I do and don't talk about in this podcast, it's just a little more edgier than normal. You might hear stuff that you don't want kids to be hearing, you know, like what I've just talked about with the end of life thing, the unnatural end of life thing. I don't know, but yeah, some people think it's a natural thing. It's a part of, you know, you're meant to go then if you decide to do it yourself. But yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I think if you, here's my take on it, right? I watched this documentary and it really opened up my eyes, and I found one similar since. It was on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it was on YouTube, but it was about hang on a sec. Just having a drink. It was about jumpers off the Golden Gate Bridge, right? People would decide that's it and jumping. So the Golden Gate Bridge in is it New York? San Francisco? Gee, I don't know. I don't know America that well. Sorry, guys. My American fans, maybe one of you can put in the comments down below. But the Golden Gate Bridge is notorious for jumpers. And, or it has had times where it's been, you know, quite bad. And, you know, when the economy suffers, obviously there's going to be more jumpers, you know, when there's, yeah, all sorts of conditions can affect it. But over the years, they've got better and better at prevention. So there's signs everywhere, similar to how they are in Sydney with the Gap. They've got cameras, they've got signs, they've got fences. So now they've made it harder and harder for people to jump. There's yeah, and so less people now jump today than they ever have, which is a good thing. So prevention's a good thing, right? Because yeah, I'm going to stick on this topic for a minute because it is an important topic to me. I mean, there's nothing more important than the difference between life and death, right? So it is an important topic, and it's one that I've really entertained far too much in my life. I actually do entertain the idea of not living. Now, no, don't get me wrong, it's not always by my own hands. Sometimes I entertain the idea of not living because I wonder, what if I die tomorrow? Just naturally, right? Have a heart attack and die. What if I die next week? What if I die tonight in my sleep, peacefully? That's an interesting thought, right? And so to ponder this, to wonder what would happen, my mind has to push me into places where I've got to explore what happens then. You know, so I've got a pretty good idea in all sorts of scenarios if I die, whether it's a car accident, whether I die at home, whatever the scenario might be. If I'm hit by a car on the road, if I'm murdered, all sorts of things like that. I've got an idea of what would happen as far as post-mortem. So once I'm gone, what would actually happen? So someone finds me, or someone, you know, is there when it happens, or sees it happen, or whatever. And the whole process, depending on which scenario it is, I've followed these processes through. I've got a pretty good understanding on what happens because I'm kind of fascinated with it. It's call it a morbid fascination because that's actually what it is. Morbid curiosity, but it's more than that. It's a morbid fascination. I have an unhealthy. I've spent an unhealthy amount of time thinking about this, and this is another thing I want to talk to my therapist about, because if I'm not actually sad to the point where I don't want to be around, and I'm trying to focus on moving forward and living my life and enjoying my life and trying to be happy, this is the messed up stuff that comes into my head. What if I die tonight? You know? what if this is the last time I close my eyes as I'm closing my eyes at night? Yeah, so I freak out about that. And then I think, look, what if I die in a week? What if I die in a month? What if I die in a year? What if, you know? And I think you don't know how long you got left, right? So you should be not wasting too much time in your life. It's also good not to have too busy a life as well, I believe. Some people need a busy life and love a busy life, but if you're not that type, you shouldn't be pushing yourself into that, because you will burn yourself out. You won't enjoy any of your life, and what's the point? If you're going to be tired all the time and not enjoying yourself, just to be a success in life, to pay a mortgage, you know, like maybe you decide when you get your mortgage, yeah, I can do a 40-hour week, and the missus does her for 35-hour week, and she can't get any overtime, or 38-hour week, or whatever she's doing. So between us, we kind of just make the mortgage, but there's no frills, there's no presents, there's no haircuts, there's no trips away, no holidays, no savings, nothing, right? We can hardly afford to feed our family pet, right? Now, when it's that tight, that's when people go, but we can still do this. I can get overtime. I can do this. I can do that, right? And so now you start pushing yourself, right? You're not just doing your normal job now, because you've got in your head that I'm going to get a home loan, and I've got this home loan, and I've got to move forward as quick as I can to get this paid off before I die, so I can retire. So society sets us up to not enjoy life. And I feel if you're stuck in that situation, you've gone in over your head. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, if you know that theory, that saying, expression. You just want to be like everyone else, and fitting in, and you know, being part of society, or being a normal person. Some people strive to be a normal person. Some people strive to be a successful normal person. And it's not always a healthy option, because some people were never meant to be a successful, healthy person. They might have meant to be a successful, happy, healthy person, but the success doesn't come from wealth or establishing their life in a paid off house, or a nice job, security, and anything like that. It might come with saving up and getting a caravan and a car and travel around the country, and wherever you stop because you've broken down, or you decide you're going to stay there for a while, you set up camp, you get a job, you earn a little bit of money, you trickle feed back into, because it's not a big expensive thing to keep this dream alive, right? If you're traveling around in a caravan, it might be in worst case scenario, your motor blows, or something expensive blows in the car, and it costs thousands of dollars. You have to buy a new car even to tow the caravan, or something major happens to the caravan, has an accident, it's your fault, and you're not insured, so you're stuck there with tarps over the thing while you're fixing it, and you haven't got the money. Like, you can be stuck in a place for 6-12 months like that, but eventually you'll get out of it. I'm talking about the worst case scenario. So what I'm trying to get across to people is, you don't have to be that big success. You don't have to push yourself beyond your comfort levels just because society, or your wife, or your husband or your father or your mother or your family or your business. You know, some businesses you get into and they just feel like they own you and they want to control your life and push you around and push you to be a success. You know, if you're into sales and that, they want to motivate you, and because if you're a success, they're obviously a success, right? But yeah, don't fall for it, guys. Stand up, decide what you want to do in your life, decide what you want to be in your life. It's a hard one, because some people never know what they want to do or what they want to be. It's a tough question. It's I got thrown that in primary school. What do you want to be when you grow up? I bet you most of the kids are saying fireman and doctor, or I want to be a nurse, or I want to work in a kindergarten, or I want to be an astronaut, or, you know, like just those stereotypical answers that kids give when they're in primary school. No one says, oh, I want to have a Bachelor of Science and work in marine biology, and you know, like it's, no one says, oh, I want to be a media tycoon. I mean, nowadays that the kids would probably say they want to be an influencer. That'd be a new one. I want to be a YouTube star, or yeah, I want to be a prankster, making pranks on YouTube. Yeah, so that the options have varied much more now than they were when I was a kid. It was the policeman, doctor, fireman. You know, lots of kids want to be a fireman or a pilot. Racing car driver. That was my one. I got ridiculed for wanting to be a racing car driver by a guy called John Brownlow. He was my teacher in 5th class. It was a combined class with I think 4th and 5th class. And yeah, so I don't know how old you are in 5th class. I'm sure I was in the 5th class, not the 4th. But I was with him for 2 years, because the year before he also had 4th and 5th. And I had him as well that year. So I had him for 4th class and 5th class. And I think by 6th class I'd moved to another school. Yeah, I did, yeah. So yeah, I had him for 4th and 5th class. Anyway, he told me that when I said I wanted to be in front of the classroom, I said I wanted to be a racing car driver. He ridiculed me. He told me I couldn't be a racing car driver. He laughed at me. He told me that there'd be no such thing as petrol by the time I grow up. So I have to be realistic. There certainly won't be enough petrol to be racing cars anyway. It'll be limited to moving freight around the country and the world. So yeah, fuel shortage was a thing. We'd you know, around this time that he was asking me, the whole world had lost the passion for buying V8s. This is the late 70s, I guess, mid to late 70s. We had a fuel crisis, yeah, so fuel prices shot up. It was to do with politics and that sort of thing. But anyway, it settled back down, and then there was another big one, another big crisis with a combination of fuel prices, maybe a little bit of availability, but the big thing was the scare on how fast cars would get in, and that was probably in the later 70s, early 80s. And by mid 80s we had cars that were just too fast on the roads, and some cars were getting banned, and then government was stepping in and putting restrictions on cars, with how fast they could be and different things like that. Companies weren't disclosing the true figures of their vehicles to get around things. Yeah, it was a real interesting time, and great to have grown up in it all. But anyway, John Brownlow, my teacher, he might even be dead now. I'm 56 this year, and he was probably 20 years older than me, at a guess. So 76, 75 he could have been around now. He might be gone. Interesting to know. So if anyone knows of a John Brownlow that was a teacher, back in the, I don't know, maybe 70s, 80s in Sydney. I was at Canterbury South Public School, if that helps, and that's where this happened. So yeah, he laughed at me and told me I couldn't be a racing car driver because of the fuel. There won't be such a thing. He's had a strong feeling, knowledge as far as he was concerned, that there would be no such thing as cars on the road. The average car, there wouldn't be enough. So that wouldn't be enough fuel for that to happen. We would have used up our fuel resources by then, by the time I grew up. And what little fuel resources were available would be dedicated to important things, and definitely not something as stupid as and useless as motor racing. So yeah, kicked my dream in the guts, but I didn't stop loving motor racing at all. It didn't affect that bit at all. And he didn't actually kick my dream in the gut, so to speak, because I never actually was super serious about being a racing car driver, probably even when I said it. It was a kid thing. But I do love motor racing, and when I got on the road for the first time as a teenager, I was a hoon, driving around like an idiot. When I was a bit older and technology got good enough, I got motor racing games on PlayStation and the like. I got a steering wheel and pedal set up, and then we got into online racing and things became more realistic. We got laser measured tracks entered into a game, so the accuracy is impeccable. Track elevations and bumps and things in the track, the scenery, how far the edge of the line is to the fence, and all sorts of little things. It's all measured out with LiDAR, laser, or LiDAR and laser, or one or the other. Oh no, they're laser measured, that's what they say. I'm guessing they use LiDAR though. Anyway, maybe someone knows about that, can mention it down below. So yeah, so he was wrong, obviously. Motor racing is still a thing. And it's just really important. That was an eye-opener as I grew up older and realised there was a time, probably long after I left school, I think, where I realised actually that guy was wrong. I was waiting for it, for years. I'm thinking, oh, maybe he's right, he's a teacher. But yeah, I was waiting for someone to start saying on the news, soon we're not going to have enough money for recreational things when it comes to motor vehicles or usage of petrol. It's going to have to be more controlled and governed because we're running out. Or fuel prices just getting that ridiculous. I mean, they are ridiculous, but the people still buy fuel. It doesn't stop anyone. I'm mumbling here. And not mumbling, I'm saying too much. That's one of my pet hates. I hate myself saying that. And I shouldn't hate myself. So I hate myself saying that I hate myself. We'll beat around this bush for a while, right? No, I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, that was just a demonstration on how easy it is for someone to shatter someone's dreams too. And I don't know how I got onto that topic of kids in the school, especially me talking about wanting to be a racing car driver, and John Brownlow messing it up. He didn't mess it up. It was never going to happen. But he could have. What if I was dedicated? And that was the thing that I lived and breathed and decided I'd wanted to do. And what if I did take him seriously and decide it wasn't going to happen? Wouldn't I be pissed off watching Ricardo, what's his name? That F1 driver? Gee. Hopeless with names now, aren't I? Danny Ricciardo, sorry. That's why I messed up, because I was thinking Ricardo was his first name. Danny Ricciardo, the young guy that I think he went from Ferrari to Red Bull, or the other way around, but he's been in the big teams and been successful. He's a bit of a has-been now as far as leading the world in F1. But yeah, him and Vettel were a team, Sebastian Vettel. So yeah, Danny Ricciardo, an Aussie guy, right? Imagine how jealous I would have been watching him do that when I could have done it 20 years earlier if I didn't have a teacher tell me that I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? What if that teacher shattered my dream and I was dead set on it, and then years later I'm watching Danny Ricciardo, become world champion F1 driver, an Aussie. I mean, yeah, he's got Italian background, but yeah, he talks like an Aussie. He talks like an Aussie wog to me. He reminds me of kids from Bankstown and out of Western Sydney, where when I was growing up, there was a lot of ethnic kids, Italian, Greek, and Lebanese, and all that. A lot of them sort of developed this Aussie ethnic. I was going to use the W word. That's another taboo word, I guess. But yeah, the three-letter W word that people used to call people from other countries, mainly Europeans, because Australia was flooded with Europeans which was great, I love them, before we started getting other races in, other countries joined in, So yeah, I think nowadays there's not as many Europeans coming to Australia to live as there once were. There was a lot of POMs too. You heard the term $10 POM. So I think they were given $10. They could come here with nothing pretty much, or they only needed $10 to get here. Like you got a free ticket if you showed that you had $10 to spend on your arrival, or to look after yourself on arrival. You could get here and your ticket was covered, I think. Something like that. The government was keen on getting them here. So they'd let them come here with as little as $10 or something. And yeah, I mean, because of that nominal amount, I mean, $10 back then is worth a lot now. It's probably worth $500 or $1,000, who knows. Definitely more than 100. But yeah, like, imagine coming here on $500 and you're set up in a country that's ready to boom. Yeah, so exciting times, and a lot of ethnic people really took hold of that. And back to what I was saying, I really noticed that they developed this language, and I loved it. It was so. If you've ever watched Wog Boy, if you've ever watched that one with what's her name, Con and Effie, Acropolis Now. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember the name, but I'm sorry, guys. Acropolis Now. Yeah, I think it was Acropolis Now. It wasn't Apocalypse. Yeah, Acropolis. Acropolis Now. That was in the 90s. TV series, comedy TV series. I think it was only half-hour episodes, and it probably didn't even last that long, but it was funny. And there's been a lot of funny, actual Aussie, Italian, Aussie, Greek, Aussie. You remember Con the Fruiter from the comedy company? On for you Aussie people listening. G'day, gentlemen. How are you today? A couple of days doesn't matter. You open the bag up. For those that are, it's not right? You don't spit in the bag, blow air into someone's bag that you're about to put their vegetables into when they've asked for vegetables, if you're the fruiterer. But that was him, it was funny. And then his kids, Rula, Tula, Sula, Vula, no, whatever, and a guppy. What the hell was that shit? Anyway, sorry, I love comedy, and old comedy still makes me laugh. I occasionally watch some of the old stuff just for a laugh. Paul Hogan, Benny Hill, The Comedy Company, the old shows from when I grew up. Because I haven't seen them all. I've watched a lot of them when they were on TV as they were happening, but I haven't seen them all. So it's good every now and then when you see something new, or you stumble across an episode and you start watching it and you go, I haven't seen this episode. I'm sure I haven't seen this episode. Yeah, I'm a little nostalgic like that. I'm very nostalgic, actually. Living in the past, some call it. So anyway, as I said, this is an unplanned podcast. I'm talking about me, but I'm also talking about life, and I'm also talking about people. During this podcast series, I hope that people can listen to the first few episodes, and then listen to the ones sort of towards the middle or end, and compare them and notice a difference in my attitude. I'm hoping that I'm more positive. I'm hoping that I sound happier. I'm hoping that I have more listeners. Yeah, at the end of the day, I would like to monetize this channel. Not today, maybe a long time in the future, who knows. But I'm waiting for the channel to start to pick up and take off before I even think about it. And it may never happen, but I have a theory that if I keep putting content out, and that if people keep liking it and people keep subscribing, and it keeps getting views and likes and comments, then, I am gaining people, but it's so slow. I think I've gained one person in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And yeah, but people are still watching these videos, these podcasts. I get the stats back on them, and there are people that watch these through to the end. And some, I think one of them only had like 11 views or something, and I thought, oh, that's not much. But when you look at it, if it's a half-hour video, that's like, 5-6 hours of listening time that someone's given you, or 11 different people have given you. Not all of them would have listened through the end. Some people get 5 minutes in and go, this is boring, and click next video. Because the click junkie thing happens. We're all after a quick hit, and that's why we scroll, and that's why we click on the next video, and that's why we go, boring, there's something better, right? Because there always is. There's always something better. There's always something more exciting. There's always a funnier one. There's always a scarier one. There's always a car that's faster. There's always a guy that's tougher. There's always a girl that's prettier. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so easy to never be satisfied, because when you're watching something that this isn't the best I've seen of this. I've seen prettier girls talking on YouTube than that. I've seen smarter guys explaining things than this guy. I've heard more successful people talk about business than this guy. I've seen better race drivers talk about motor racing than this guy. You know what I mean? So everyone wants to be an expert, and then everyone wants to be critical as well. I say give those people a go. If you like them and you like the way they present, some people don't want content presented to them by a bloody professional. If this was a series about psychology and the mind and getting out of mental health, or would you want me to be if I'm talking about my mental health, would you want me to be a psychologist or psychiatrist or therapist to actually do it? It doesn't make sense. I understand if you're learning how to weld, you want someone that knows what they're doing to be teaching you how to weld. But then there's different styles. Some people have learnt how to weld and know how to pull out the fundamentals and teach it to you really quick and easily in shorter videos and make it easy to understand, and they're not carrying on with jargon that you don't even understand what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? They're shorter videos, and you connect with them. They're not a professional. They've probably only got 200 people on their channel or something, or 1,000 followers, or they might only have 3 videos up. The channel might be new. It might not have taken off yet, but you like their content, you watch it, you give them a like, you give them a comment, you tell them that you like it, you tell them how you think that they can improve their channel, if you want them to, if you feel that they need to improve. And I encourage that with my channel too. I really encourage you guys, get in the comment section, right? That's where it's at. It doesn't happen a lot nowadays. It doesn't happen a lot with my videos, because I think I've only got 151 subscribers currently. And so it doesn't happen a lot with my videos. I have other channels that have got more subscribers, by the way, but yeah, that's another topic. But yeah, this is my personal channel, and I'm trying to get it to grow. I have 2 channels I'm trying to grow at the moment. well, two that I want to grow, and this is the one that I'm concentrating on at the moment, my own personal channel. There's a Cybertruck one, or Cybertrek, where I'm making my own, you all know, I'm sure, my own bicycle camper and a micro Cybertruck. Hang on a sec. Just had to shut the dogs up there. Not sure, not even sure what they were barking at. I got up and had a look, but they shut up pretty quick. I didn't even have to tell them to shut up. I think I did just before I paused. I might have said, "Oi, shut up," and then I said, "Hang on a sec." But anyway, yeah, I'd edit that bit out if this was edited, and I'm not going to edit this stuff. I decided just to let it all out. I pause, I unpause if I can, or you just cop the boring bits with the good bits. If there is any good bits, I'm hoping you find good stuff in this, guys. I really do. I hope that I inspire, or I help people through things, or help people to understand me, maybe. Yeah, by being understood, I hope to become a little more popular. I don't feel like I'm popular. I don't want to be super popular or famous, but I would like to have a decent following that I can then push over to my other channel once I finish my project. So at the end of the day, my project's going to have me traveling around with a micro camper and a micro vehicle, which is all pedal powered with electric assist, solar powered, self-contained, pretty much off-grid, you know. All I need will be water and somewhere to dump my sewage, or somewhere to go to the toilet. I won't have a laundry, but I will have water. I will, you know, if I've got water, or I've got washing facilities by using a bucket if I choose to. But yeah, so that's the one thing. I'll be stopping at laundromats, but that's not much different to today anyway. I've been here about 3 months, and I've used a friend's laundry, and I've used a laundromat, and I haven't used the washing machine here. I don't know why. I do, but I won't go into it. So anyway, yeah, so now my mate's dog's out the other side of the house, and it's barking at something. So my dogs decide they're going to bark back, and hopefully we won't have to pause and continue. Where was I before they barked? I'd finished talking about. Anyway, let's move on to a new topic, maybe. I don't know, or maybe let's think about winding it up. Hey guys, come on, stop. My guys are on the verge of barking. May just let out a growl like she was about to bark. Anyway, so oh yeah, I was talking about the project. So at the end of the day, I have, once this project's built, I have to be traveling around in this thing. It's going to look cute, you know, like real stylish and flash and all shiny, kind of like a stainless steel fridge on its side going down the road on the wheels. No, I mean, it's a bit boxy and it's a bit silver like a fridge, but yeah, it'll be stylish at the angles and stuff. It's not totally square. And if you've seen the Cybertruck, the Tesla Cybertruck that Tesla has just started selling to the public now, in the last couple of months, I think. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. They're very square and very silver. They're made of stainless steel, so they're very square, very silver. That you can't bend stainless steel that easy. Can't put curves into it. So you can bend it one direction, and that's why they got folds in it, but they can't put curves in it. So it's all angular. Anyway, so yeah, I hope to be traveling around that thing and living in it as well, and documenting the whole thing and doing practically daily vlogs. I think it'll be more daily, or at least a couple of times a week, minimum weekly. So I'll be doing vlogs so a lot will be daily stuff where you just see everything, you know, and there'll be some boring episodes and there'll be exciting episodes because of what's happening. You know, I might be traveling somewhere and that's boring, and then when we get there it might be exciting. But yeah, there'll also be actually just a car driving past just distracted me then. I lost my train of thought. So, sorry guys, this is autism. Welcome. Welcome to autism. Yeah, so I do lose train of thought real easily, and I struggle with conversation, and it makes it boring, and people are like, get to the bloody point, Dave. But I beat around the bush. It's like a Sheldon Cooper that's like stupid, not smart. I explain things like people are idiots. And they don't understand the most basic things of life. I know I do it, but I can't help myself. I go into too much detail. I beat around the bush. I get off in tangents and sidetracked. It's just me. Welcome to me, guys. I'm hoping you like it. If you are, and if you're not, tell me. So now we've got a farmer with like he's repairing storm damage, I think, from when we had this recent storm and flood come through. His bridge got washed away over where he had a bridge over the creek. So I think he's working on putting laying some pipes in so the water can go through rather than around and over. Yeah, so there was too much pressure on it, and that's what pushed it over, destroyed it on him. So that's what's making noise. They just made a noise like they dropped something heavy on the ground, maybe a big pipe or concrete, I don't know. Made a noise, the dogs barked. Anyway, so yeah, I hope to be travelling around. I hope to push the audience that I gather here over the next couple of years as I'm getting this project done. I hope to move it over. The majority of you guys, I hope, will follow over to the other channel. And so that's Cybertrek Australia. What's the name of it? Or Cybertrek Aust, AUST dot. And then it was something like Velomobile. If you punch in Cybertrek Velomobile, you'll find it pretty quick. Or even just Cybertruck Velomobile, you'll find it pretty quick. But yeah, instead of TRUCK, it's TREK. So Cybertrek instead of Cybertruck. I did that for copyright. I was worried that if the channel got super popular, that Elon might get upset with me, but I really don't think it's an issue. I don't think Elon's the type to do that. There was another guy that made a wooden Cybertruck, a full-size wooden Cybertruck, and Elon bought it off him, I think, for a ridiculous amount of money, and I think he's taken it to the Gigafactory in Texas. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard something about he definitely, well, from what I gathered from a few different things I saw on the internet, I didn't check any of them out, they're just like thumbnails and stuff, titles that I scrolled past. But yeah, Elon, I'd already seen the video of the wooden Cybertruck, and then I saw that Elon had hooked up with a guy and it sounded like he'd bought it, but I just read the little thing that was on the thumbnail. I didn't actually click on the video and watch it, so I don't know much about it. But yeah, so Elon's not the type that's gonna bend me over and sue me, I'm pretty sure, just because he would take it as a compliment. He's that kind of guy, and it is what I'm doing. This is a compliment to the Cybertruck. It's I like it. Other people like it. I can see that this is one of the cars that will be a car of the future. It's only been out a couple of months, guys. If you haven't seen it, please check out Tesla's newest vehicle, the Cybertruck. Alright, that's an all-wheel drive, all electric. If you're an Aussie, it's a ute, right? Other places call them utility vehicles. Some call them SUVs because it's a 5-seater. So it's got seats just like a car would have, 2 rows of seats, 2 in the front, 3 in the back seat. But yeah, it's got a area in the back where you can carry stuff around if you're a tradie. If you decide to go shopping and buy heaps of stuff, there's plenty of room in the back. If you're going somewhere, if you're moving, if you're camping, if you're boating, whatever it is, you've got plenty of room in the back. and it's also covered in with a vault lid. It's what they call the back area of the vault, just to be cool, I guess, because it's all metal and it's squarish and it's got a lid on it and it can be locked up. So it's good if tradies have got tools in there that are expensive, or people have got parts or something and they're travelling around, or you're going around selling something expensive, like computer stuff, and you happen to have a lot of expensive stuff in your car, or you can keep it all safe in the back of the Cybertruck. Yeah, impressive performance. They're tough. Very sophisticated as far as technology, as you'd expect. So, not sure if it's already a thing yet, but they'll be driverless as well, or have that option to be driverless. So if you decide you don't want to drive and you just want to be a passenger in your own car, you just say, I want to go here, and you press it on the map and the car will take you there safely. But yeah, that technology, although it's pretty good already, it's not perfect for some countries and for some governments and for certain situations, so it's not quite perfect yet. So it won't be long though, and you'll be seeing people driving around hands-free on, like now you're supposed to hold onto your wheel or touch your steering wheel every 10 seconds or something like that. Otherwise alarms will go off, and I don't know what happens, like the driverless feature cancels and you're in control again, or it pulls the car up or something. I don't know. But yeah, you are required. I'm pretty sure in the Teslas that are already doing, like the Model S and the Model E and the Model X and the Model Y, and what's that spell? Sexy, right? That's true. And then they got Cybertruck, so sexy T. Yeah, Elon did that on purpose, apparently. He came out with the Model X, and then he came out with the Model E, and the Model X, and then the Model Y. You knew what you were doing, eh, Elon? He's bringing sexy back. And I like it, and I believe they are a sexy vehicle, all the other Teslas. They've got nice curves on them, because they're not stainless steel. But anyway, so hopefully one day you guys will join me on my adventures, travelling around, living the dream. People say in some respects I'm already living the dream, and I feel like in some respects I am, because of where I'm sitting right now. If you could just see where I'm sitting right now, you go, wow, that's awesome. Obviously, if you're living in a nice picturesque spot where it's beautiful weather and you get lots of rain and there's lots of greenery around and nice trees and mountains and stuff, well, you probably wouldn't find it that special. But people that live in cities, they can stand anywhere on the block that I'm on and go, wow. Or anywhere in the area that I'm in and go, wow. Because it's just postcard perfect pretty much everywhere. Yeah, it's a really pretty area, pretty part of Australia. A healthy part of Australia because of the high rainfall. So there's a lot of wildlife here, and there's a lot of native, untouched, protected bushlands. Yeah, so I'm in a great spot, but yeah, I'm hoping once I've got the Cybertruck and the camper on the road that I'll be in an even better spot, because that's my dream, that's my goal, that's what I want to be in life. I want to be that person driving around the country, or just driving up and down the coast, or just staying in one spot for a while if I'm happy where I am. I decide, right? I'm in control. It's my life. And yeah, having my dogs with me and sharing that, because it's an idyllic lifestyle, because there's no need to work, there's no need to stress. We can go where we want. We've got the dogs with us, which are fun and awesome and entertaining. We've got the Cybertruck, which is a very unique pedal-powered electric assist vehicle that's it'll be all-wheel drive as well, and independent suspension and all sorts of stuff. yeah, fantastic electrical system on it. Like, so it's going to have a 12-volt lighting. So I'll be running light bars on it and things like that. Um, I'll have a wiper. Um, I'm eventually I'll have a wiper. Maybe not straight away, but yeah, one day I'll get a wiper. So that'll be a 12-volt thing. Yeah, so there'll be a few things. There'll be two electric systems. There'll be a 48-volt system that runs the power for the electric motors and stuff, and then there'll be a 12-volt system that runs the electrics as far as what you'd expect to have in an average car, like blinkers, headlights, brake lights, horn, wiper, fans maybe? Who knows? Um, yeah, so I've been thinking about fans for the battery packs. So I'm thinking about maybe custom battery packs at one stage, but I might be starting out with something cheap and nasty, just and not as powerful, and maybe a bit more overpriced for what it is, but just to get it on the road basically. Just throw something in that works and that I can afford at the time. You know, it might be wasted money because I may replace it with this. I want to have a custom built, whether I get it custom built or whether I build it myself. But I want to have custom built battery system. I've already kind of got it in my head. It's 5 big batteries. It's a lot of power and a lot of weight, but it's 5 big batteries. So you know how they pack them flat with the cells standing upwards, and then they're just like a sandwich. You put a lid on the top, and then they get all soldered up together. That's how all these bicycle battery packs are made, and that's how the Tesla ones are. I think they just stack 2 or 3 batteries on top of each other, up and down, instead of just one. And that's what makes them a bit thicker under the car. But the batteries stand upright. I'm pretty sure in most of these sort of setups. So, but yeah, when you've got them flat in a push bike battery pack, they're usually on their side, because having them flat in a push bike doesn't make sense because push bikes are up and down. But with my setup, I've got a flat floor area, right? And that's a fantastic spot for batteries because batteries are heavy. Bringing them to the lowest part of the vehicle, the floor, is just a no-brainer. And they're protected by the floor so that it can't get impacted, and we won't have issues with fire. But heat might be an issue, and the batteries might need to have a computer system that manages them, and when they get hot, they might have fans that come on at a certain temperature to keep them from overheating. Um, Definitely I'll need some ventilation, need to make sure that water can't get in at the same time. You know, there's all sorts of things to consider. Keep it dry. So yeah, it's a tricky thing, but I do want this customized battery pack thing. I could probably build it myself one day, but yeah, it's fiddly, and I could buy those components slowly as I can afford them over a period of months. You know, just buy, like, say it needs 500 batteries or something, 100 batteries in each of these cells that I'm going to be making up, if you call them that. Is that what you call them? Batteries, battery packs? I don't know. So yeah, each one's going to be 48 volt, and it's going to be quite large, so about 700 mil wide. Sorry, Americans, if you don't know what that is, you can work it out. 70 centimeters wide by about 50 centimeters deep, and 1 battery high, whatever those, you know, those batteries that they use on rechargeable things. That's the same sort of thing. That thing they're called, I don't even know. They've got 4 numbers, or 5 numbers, and everyone knows them by that number. And I can't even remember it. Who cares? It doesn't matter. You all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's easy to find out. But yeah, the standard rechargeable batteries that are in everything, they're in bloody cordless appliances like drills and phones. They're in remote control vehicles. They're in remote control airplanes and all sorts of remote control things. They're in cars, as in, you know, EVs. They're in push bikes. So that same type of battery, they've all got this little round battery. It's about the size of a AA battery, but it's a little bit thicker. It's probably a little bit taller as well. It's chunkier than a AA battery. You know how AA is chunkier than a AAA? Well, it's that again. It's a bit thicker again, but not as thick as like a C cell, if anyone remembers them. Don't see them around much. Anyway, I'm talking crap about batteries here, and that's not the point of this. But the point I was saying is that my project is going to take a long time. It needs a lot of money, and it's getting nutted out as it goes, and it's a progressive thing. So when it's actually finished on the road, it won't be anywhere near finished. It'll be kind of like I've got this camper. I'm living in the camper now. I've been in it for over a year, heading towards a year and a half. And it's still not clad on the outside. It still doesn't have proper wheels on it. It still doesn't have the suspension. It still doesn't have proper wiring done. It still doesn't have... I've got the toilet, but I don't use it in here because there's a toilet in the house. I don't have the... pretty sure I've got the hot water system here somewhere. But I don't have it set up. And I don't have water hooked up to it, which isn't a big deal. And if I was living here with it completely set up, I wouldn't have the toilet set up and I wouldn't have the hot water set up. Because they're things that you set up when you pull up, right? They're packed inside when you're traveling, and when you pull up, you set up your hot water system, you set up your toilet, and then you're ready to go. So if you need a shower for the night and you need to use the toilet for the night, it's there, right? And then when you're finished, if you're in a caravan park or near a caravan park, you can walk the cartridge part of the toilet over, empty it into their dump, and maybe rinse it out, bring it back to where you're camping, hook it up to the top part, put it back in the van, bring your hot water system back inside, drain the water out of it, and then drop the roof down on the camper. The camper's a pop top, and it's only it fits on a footpath, right? That's the idea of it. So it'll fit in a bike lane. It's under a metre wide. It's just over 800, 820 or 840 or something like that wide at the wheels. And yeah, it's like about 2.5 metres, 3 metres long nearly. Yeah, so when the roof's up, I can stand up inside it, but it's still tiny. I can take a couple of steps in one direction, turn, and take a couple of steps back again. And yeah, it's minimalistic living. That's what it's all about. And I can talk about that side of my life in a different video, and I'm sure I already have in other videos touched on it. So anyway, yeah, I do want this channel to grow, and that's why. And I've just been prattling on about that for the last probably 20 minutes when it isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. It's not going to get edited. It's going into the final cut, guys. Well, thank you for listening. There's another therapy session coming up soon, and I'll be doing another podcast after that. I feel just in these first few therapy sessions that I'm actually going to really get somewhere, and really, yeah, things are going to happen really quick, I believe. So I'm the kind of person that knows a lot of stuff about how people's minds work and that sort of thing already anyway. So there's no point going into the psychology of things too much when I have a basic understanding of the fundamentals. And she understands that I've done a lot of the study on stuff, and just some of the words that I've used at her, she's understanding that I've, because I said to her, well, that's a bit, at the end of the session, I said to her, well, that's a bit for you to unpack then. And that's just totally what one therapist would say to another, right? One professional therapist would say that to another, you know, after hearing someone's like, oh, so he killed his parents when he was 4 years old, and then he went on a rampage, and then no one ever found out about it, and now he's telling you about it 40 years later, you know, like that's a bit to unpack. You know what I mean? Like, so between therapy sessions, The therapist needs to unpack basically what has been discussed. They take notes while they're talking, right? And then they go through all this later on and go, okay, next therapy session, I'm going to be hearing more, but also we need to unpack unpack to the point where we are at the moment and find out, do like a quick analysis of the situation and find out as much as we can so we can follow, we can keep up, and we can, at the end of the day, they want to try and help, right? And sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's just being an ear. But sometimes, and with this therapist, and she's asked me what I want, and I said to her, I want to be able to have tools. Right? I want to be able to have got somewhere. I want to understand myself better. I want to be able to help myself better. I want to be more functional and more positive, and yeah, not procrastinate as much, things like that. So yeah, and I said, so if you can help me with those sorts of things, and to not be so negative about my past, even if it is a crappy past, I don't have to be so negative about it, right? Because your past is your past. You know, people that were born into a drug den, and their parents were into prostitution and crime and constant drugs and out of it all the time and no attention whatsoever. What are you guys doing? No. Sorry guys, I just had to stand up and watch what the dogs were doing. They're hearing noises in the distance and they're about to bark, I'm sure. But yeah, so yeah, she had a bit to unpack at the end of the day. And so I told her that, you know, it's hang on. Stop it. Calm down, you guys. Come on, calm down. Leia, go lay down, darling. Yeah, eat some of that. Eat some of that dinner. Too hot? Sorry, guys. Distracted by the dogs again. I just didn't want them to start barking right when I'm about to finish this bloody podcast. And they were looking like they were going to. Anyway, and now I've distracted them and they're giving me attention, which is almost as look, I'll just breathe for a sec. We'll be fine, and we'll get through the end of this video. We're well over an hour into this. This is probably the longest one of these I've done. I probably talked just as much crap as I did in the other ones. You know, there's no real direction. There's no purpose to this other than for you to listen to me unpack my life. Now I'm using their technology again. But yeah, so what I was saying before is the therapist already understands that I have a really good understanding of psychology, and I'm not a shrink. I don't claim to be anything near what a shrink would be, or a psychologist, psychiatrist, a therapist. I'm nothing in that respect. Maybe one day I could do maybe I could do crisis counselling or something like that. I think crisis counselling is probably a bit tough though, but someone's got to do it, right? And maybe one day it might be me. I might be taking calls on my phone while I'm in my camper, you know, have a great day and then deal with someone that's about to kill themselves at night. Because that'd be a rewarding thing. If you've had someone ring you up and says, I've had enough, I'm going to kill myself, I just want to talk to someone before I die, and I've got this knife or I've got these pills or whatever, and go, it's been a bad day, eh? You know, and just lead them through the situation, and how rewarding would it be at the end of that to know that you're the person that stopped them from taking their life. They were all set to do it. Even if they weren't, even if they were all bloody huffing, puffing and trying to just get attention and someone to take them seriously when they were never seriously going to kill themselves in the first place. It still would be a good feeling to know that you've calmed someone down who's really upset and even talking that way. Yeah? So yeah, I have thought about getting into that myself. and I think I could do it. I could guide someone, I could help someone, I could direct someone to the right tool. Maybe just something like a lifeline counsellor, you know, just answering those emergency calls or something. I don't know. I don't think I want to be a proper professional therapist. I think you've got to, yeah, I think you've got to go to uni and stuff for that. I'm not sure, you know, like a proper qualified therapist or psychologist. Hey guys, look, I'm going to pause for a sec. Okay, I paused for a sec, had a drink, and I realised that someone's calling out in the distance. It's like maybe they're calling out to cattle. We do have pet farmers with cattle nearby, calling out to their dog to get the dog to help with the cattle. Who knows? And because we're kind of in a valley, the noise has sort of travelled from a distance. I could just hear someone calling out, like they're calling out for a dog or calling someone. Yeah, hopefully not calling for help, because it sounded like there'd be more people closer than I am that would hear it if that's what it was. Yeah, it sounded like about a K or two up the road that someone was yelling out from. So I'm not going to be running off, and it stopped now anyway. I really think it was just someone calling out to their dog, whether they're all calling the cattle in for a feed or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not worried about it, and it was just a quick distraction. Now we're at the end of the video. I want to thank you guys for listening, and just to show me that you guys did listen through to the end, can you guys just, hey Leia, how about we write the word princess for Princess Leia? Is that good? If you write the word princess in the comments, I know that you've watched this, or you've listened to this video right through to the end. And I'll really appreciate that, because for every person that does that, even if it's only a few, even if there's only a few people, a handful of people that write princess in the comments, and you can write whatever else you like as well, or, you know, you don't have to write princess if you write enough stuff to indicate that you actually were interested in it and you listen to it. Well, you won't need to actually explain that by writing princess, right? But yeah, it will be a good feeling if I get a lot of people writing princess. And now I feel weird. Not a very macho thing to request people to say, right? But anyway, that's the last time I'll get people to write princess in the comments, I think. You can write Princess Leia if you like, because that's her full name. Or even, it's actually Princess Leia Organa. I use the proper Star Wars name, even though I'm not a Star Wars fan. It's all happened because of Chewbacca, who's long gone. He died over a year ago. Or about a year ago. No, yeah, over a year ago. He's heading towards 2 years. Anyway, so yeah, Chewie was Missy's son, and now, sorry, Chewie was Missy's son, and now I've got Luke, who is Missy's grandson. So Luke is named in honour of Chewie. He got another Star Wars character's name. Chewie didn't even get a Star Wars character's name because I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not. He got it because of its noises he made. He sounded like a baby Wookiee. And so he was going to get called Wookiee. And then it was either Wookiee or Chewie, and we decided Chewie was better. He was actually called Jellybean at the start. So he went from Jellybean to Chewie. And yeah, so Chewie died at 5.5 years old from a tick bite on the throat. It was horrific. And so now I have his grandson. And not his grandson, his nephew, which is Missy's grandson. So I have grandson and grandma here, Missy and Luke. And Leia, Princess Leia, was one that a very dear friend of mine, Krista, I don't think she's on YouTube. But yeah, if you happen to be listening, Krista, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to have someone that I know in my life say, Dave, or just someone even from social media that knows me in social media. Dave, I follow you on Facebook, or we've met in person, or Dave, it's me, such and such. I'm one of your subscribers. You know, like, I'd love that you know, I'm not after a huge audience base right now. I'm after the more intimate connection right now. So it, you know, baby steps, right, guys? So we do it slowly. We don't jump into a big audience straight away. It'll intimidate the crap out of me. No, I'm too shy for that, and I'd have to grow my audience as my confidence grows. I don't want it to boom overnight. I don't want to have 1,000 followers tomorrow, but I'd really do. It's silly to say that. I want 1,000 followers for A, you can't monetize beforehand. B, going live, I think you need 500 to 1,000 just to go live. So I'd like to go live, have the option of going live on the channel. It's not a big thing, but it's just nice to be able to go, oh, well, look, this is something I can just go live with. And then there is no chance of having to worry about editing. There is no need to worry about storage on a device, making room to fall. So I had to make room, delete all this stuff just so I knew that I had a good hour and more of airtime to record, so I didn't have to worry. And that's probably why I have been going on for so long, because I knew I didn't have to rush through this. And I did warn you in the last episode that this episode would probably go somewhere between an hour and a half, and we're now closer to the hour and a half at an hour 21. So yeah, but I hope it hasn't been too boring. I hope I gave something. If I gave you something, if I gave you a laugh, if I gave you a little bit of knowledge, if I gave you a bit of understanding towards me, my life, how I live, if you learned something, that if you got any value whatsoever, if it was just 1 minute in this video that you go, that made this worth listening to, just that 1 little minute, tell me what it was too, because that'd be cool. I could maybe just put a minute video out for everyone. 5 different people say 5 different things, 5 different minutes of the video that they like. I could start bringing out 5-10 minute videos, right? No, but the long format videos are a thing. It's also to get my viewer time up. So that's an important thing. So you can't get that with shorts, and I do make shorts with the dogs and with just daily life, you know, the creek and around town maybe. So where I live's a nice area, Nimbin. I've got other videos kind of ready to go. I'm in a dilemma at the moment. If someone knows, so I had a video editor. It's called VN, Video Editor. Was it VN? I think so. But anyway, it was a free thing, and it gave you like 100 and something, I think 150, 100 or 150 videos at the start. And anyway, I've used them all. So you could edit 100 different videos, and I've used them all, which means that now they want me to pay for a version of that for $10 for like 3 months or something, and then it gets more expensive, and yeah, and I think it's a bit pricey. I appreciate that I had it free all this time, and it's not a massive tool for me to say I really need to have a proper editing tool set up, you know, like I'm happy with something free that isn't as flash, and maybe, you know, I'll put up with their ads and stuff. I don't mind. Every time I'd upload one, I'd finish it and I'd save it, and then I'd go process at the end. It's got to process it. So it puts a copy onto your phone of what you've done once you've saved it. So yeah, it processes it so that you can then share it around. So that processing feature, I think at the start of that or right at the end of the processing, an ad would always come up. And then sometimes when you open the app up, an ad would more than half the time come up. And even sometimes randomly when you were doing things, an ad would pop up. But yeah, so I didn't mind that. And some of the ads you couldn't skip, and that's okay. People have got to advertise, eh? And so yeah, and I'm getting the product for free. Someone spent some time making it, developing it, and maybe they made better versions that they sell, or maybe they sold enough of them to be able to give away the free version. Maybe they're being generous. I thank them. I've already put a good review on the thing, on the app. But yeah, I can't afford $9.95 or $9.99 or whatever it was for 3 months. and then it was the next one up for a year was like, then there was a 6 months, and anyway, then there was a year one, and I thought, nah, because then you got to pay another year, right? And it was like, what was it? It was something like 30 or 40 bucks for a year, or 50 bucks for a year, and I thought, no, wouldn't you just get the 3 month one? But then again, was it a month? I can't look. I'm going on about crap. If anyone knows of a good video editing setup, software, app, whatever that I can use to do YouTube stuff, basic YouTube stuff. I don't want to do flashy stuff. Just cut, paste, put up captions, merge different sounds in if I want, or adjust volumes. And you know, with this one I could adjust the speed of the video, I could adjust the volume, I could adjust all sorts of things, even put animation into the captions, make them come into the screen, stay there, and then go out, and control how quick they came in, how quick they went out, and the fade, and all sorts of things. So yeah, if you know of something like that, I would really appreciate that. Please mention in the comments below. I need a new one. I'm going to start looking elsewhere, because it's something I probably won't get an answer from in the comment section here, so I'm not relying on you guys to come up with something, but it'd be great if someone does. But yeah, I need a new video thing so I can start editing some of these videos that I already have that are occupying space, right? And I need to upload, but I can't edit them because I don't have the software anymore. So I got the software, but it's useless at the moment. I can't use it to edit anything because it won't do a new one because I've hit my limit. Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Don't forget our magic word for the day, princess, or Princess Leia if you like. It can be 2 words. Put that in the comments so I know that you've got to the end of this video and that you actually listen to me. Please be critical if you feel that I'm not watching this again because of. Don't just say, look, I'll listen to an hour and a half of you prattle crap and I'm never coming back here again, I'm unsubscribing. Yeah, say so. Tell me. Like, I really don't like that. Or, you know, would you be able to make a shorter video? Or, you know, what was the point of this? Some people might want to say that. What's the point of this? But you know what I mean? Like, be critical if you must. Be encouraging. Say, I like the fact that you were talking about this, or I didn't realise that, or whatever it is. Tell me something, or that helps me understand you a bit better. So please, yeah, I do appreciate you guys listening. It really means a lot to me. You guys are probably, I'll be honest, you guys are probably some of the most important people in my life right now, apart from my therapist. Family doesn't seem to mean much to me at the moment. I feel sad that I'm saying that openly. Friends don't seem to mean a lot to me at the moment. They're not acting like friends anyway. Some are, you know, but it's sort of really hit and miss. I feel like I'm missing out on that friendship thing a little. But at the same time, I'm learning to be happier with just myself. And I've always claimed to be a loner, so don't get upset that you're a lone bitch when you've been bragging your whole life you're alone, or you're a bloody loner. You know, like, snap out of it, toughen up, right? Enjoy your own company. So yeah, I'm working towards those sorts of things, and accepting the fact that I don't have a lot of people in my life. I'm also trying to treat the people that are in my life that do bother a bit better, maybe. So reach out to them as well and offer to help them out with things as well and be there for them more. You know, so, you know, it's give and take. I don't want to be a taker. I don't want to just give either. I want relationships to be fair. And yeah, there might be someone online that we're just friends because we're friends and we like each other and we've got similar interests, or they like the way I talk, or I fascinate them maybe, or something in my life does. You know, I don't care if you just want to be friends with me because I've got a Pomeranian, or I've got 3 actually. I don't care if you just want to be friends with me because I smoke weed or I live in Nimbin. You know, that's fine. But let me know and we can develop our friendship from there. And it can stay like that. That's fine. You know, you can always just be my friend just because I live in Nimbin or just because I have dogs. You know, The moment I lose my dogs and I become just a person that doesn't have dogs, you might say, oh, I'm trying to unsubscribe, and that's totally fine. Because different people have different tastes, and I want you guys to actually, not be here because I feel that I need you. I want you guys to feel that you need me, right? Well, we kind of need each other, right? You need entertaining. You need something to listen to. I need to get stuff off my chest. I need the therapy. This is what this is, guys. Let's be honest. You guys are an extension of my therapy session. And I'm getting it for free. Thanks, guys. Send me the bill. No, I'm joking. But yeah, like it's fair income to a point, but it's a real thing. We do talk to each other for that purpose. And when you don't have people around you that you can rubbish on like this for hours at a time and just have them captured by it all and not have them interrupt. You guys don't interrupt. Not once did you guys interrupt in an hour and a half. The dogs have. But anyway, yeah, you see what I'm saying? We need each other. I need you guys for someone to talk to. You guys need me. I hope you do, but if you're at the end of this video and you're here just because you're here, I don't understand why you're here. I'm hoping it's because you need me. You need to listen to me. You like listening to me. You're getting something out of it. It's entertaining to a certain point. I have trouble finding myself that entertaining, really. But for me, I think it's the real side that I'm hoping to attract people to. The fact that I'm being me. I'm not putting on any airs and graces. I'm not pretending to be someone who I'm not. You're getting me as I am, and I'm trying my very best to get people to understand me, to get people to learn about my life, my past, my future, what I do and don't like, what I do and don't do, all sorts of things, I'm not a vegan, but I don't eat much meat. There's so much, there's so much to unpack in the future, and we will get through things. And I'm hoping that you guys follow along with this podcast. This is episode 3 of 52 of my black screen. Don't even know the name of it. Black screen series. So episode 3 of black screen series. Thanks for watching. My name's Dave, and yeah, love you guys all. Thanks. Bye.